guys, this is Shabar Israel. I'm doing an analysis on Luke the 15th chapter, beginning with the 11th verse. And the topic of discussion is the prodigal son. I'm going to cover this real fast because I don't feel like investing a whole lot of time in this lesson. I've done it before, so there's no need to do it again as long as I did it before. So, the prodigal son. Prodigal means wasteful. That means wasteful. The wasteful son. So in Luke 15, the Messiah is speaking of a parable here. In this parable, the Messiah said, a certain man had two sons. These two sons represents northern and southern Israel. Again, these two sons, northern and southern Israel. The prodigal son is not about, an individual man or an individual woman that goes off, gets caught up into the world, get lost in the world, and then come to his or her senses to return back to God. It sounds good, and that's what Christians will have you to believe, but in totality, that's not what this is talking about here. The prodigal son is referring to a certain man. That certain man is the Most High. He had two sons. These two sons is northern and southern Israel. Israel became a divided nation back in 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, when Solomon turned away from the Most High by loving many strange women, and he intermingled with strange women. Not only did he do that, he also he built pagan temples for these strange women that he cleaved to. As a result of that, Solomon did evil in the Most High's eyes. His heart wasn't fully right with the Most High as his father David was. And so as a result, 1 Kings 11:11, the Most High rendered the kingdom from Solomon. That's what happened, but he didn't do it in Solomon's lifetime. When Solomon's son Rehoboam got into power to fall after his father, that's when Israel became a divided nation. Before Solomon committed this sin by intermingling with strange women, Israel was a united nation. You see that? So we go down here ultimately, and we can see right here, 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 30. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him, and he tore it in 12 pieces. The 12 pieces represents the 12 tribes of Israel. 1 Kings 11:31. He said unto Jeroboam, take you 10 pieces. Those 10 pieces represents the 10 tribes out of the 12 tribes of Israel. It's 12 tribes in totality, but Jeroboam would get 10 tribes. That's why it said concerning the garment that was rent in 12 pieces, Ahijah told Jeroboam, he said, take these 10 pieces, because this was prophecy letting you see that Jeroboam would be getting 10 tribes. But as far as Solomon's son Rehoboam would have one tribe, and so which was Benjamin, I believe. So you can see right there how the kingdom was severed during the days of Solomon when he committed he broke the commandments by intermingling with strange wives. You see that? So yeah, you can read about this stuff in 1 Kings 11 and 34 on down. Just the whole 11th chapter. You see that? So 1 Kings the 11th chapter explains how Israel became a divided nation. In Ezekiel the 37th chapter, it deals with the vision of the valley of dry bones. So if you would begin with Ezekiel 37 verse 15, because I find that very amazing how It's Ezekiel 37:15 that talks about the reunion of Judah and Israel. And then you have Luke 15:11, which talks about prodigal son, how this certain man had two sons. But anyways, going back to Ezekiel 37:15, this is the reunion of Judah and Israel. Because, as I stated, Israel became a divided nation back in 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, after Solomon did what he did, right? So, Israel was always divided after that. And so, the whole entire Bible is about, redeeming Israel in totality, all the 12 tribes. We have the southern kingdom. That's why it says the reunion of Judah and Israel. Judah is the southern kingdom, which consists of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And Israel is the rest of the 9.5 tribes. So, yeah, all together, the whole entire Bible is ultimately about the reunion of Judah and Israel. That's what it's about. It's not about the heathen man. It's not about you heathens out there. It's about the chosen, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans being the 12 tribes. And it's all about the reunion of us being united under the Messiah. That's what the whole Bible about. And so if you knew that, Luke 15, it wouldn't be as hard. But if you don't, then yeah, you're going to struggle with Luke 15. Because that prodigal son, that certain man that's the Most High that had those two sons, that is Judah and Israel, right? So we can see in Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel, he was told to take 2 sticks. So right here it says, moreover, the Son of Man, that's what Ezekiel was called. Son of Man, take you 1 stick and write upon it for Judah, all right? And for the children of Israel, his companions. So Judah's companions would be Benjamin and Levi. And then he said, take the other stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions, because Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So these 2 sticks that Ezekiel was commanded to take and put together, these sticks consist of Judah, and the other stick consists of Ephraim, or what you call the house of Israel. So this whole thing is about, again, Judah and Israel. That's those 2 sticks right there. The prodigal son, that certain man that had 2 sons, that's the 2 sticks, the 2 sons, northern and southern kingdom. Northern and southern kingdom, the 2 sons. Northern and southern kingdom, the 2 sons, the 2 sticks. All right. He said, and join them one to another. So Ezekiel 37:17, he tells Ezekiel to join the 2 sticks together, that they shall become one in his hand. This is all about the prodigal son. You must know this historical biblical information in the Old Testament. You got to know this. This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime, basically whatever things, for the things that was written in the past, aforetime was written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So whatever that was written aforetime, that was written like in the past, it was written for you guys, you brothers and sisters. It was written for us as the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and natives. It was written for our learning, things aforetime. Now, what was written aforetime? What was written aforetime? The Tanakh. You understand? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, those books like that. Those are the books that was written aforetime, what you would call the Old Testament. So it's very imperative that we study those books because it was written for our learning. Let me give you another verse, precept. This is Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. You're supposed to be studying in this book. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you are the chosen people, man. Seek ye out of the book. What is the book? The Bible. Go buy you a Bible. If you don't have a Bible, go buy you one and get to know it. Get to read it. Ask the Most High for spiritual discernment. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read, and none one of these shall fail. But if you don't read and you don't study the scriptures historically, because you got to read the Bible. You can't just read pieces here and pieces there. You got to accept the whole book, man. You get what I'm saying? And so, if you read out of the book of the Lord, which is the Bible, none one of these shall fail. But if you don't, you will fail, because when you get to Luke 15, beginning in verse 11, dealing with the prodigal son, you're not going to know what's going on. You're going to start saying, oh, the prodigal son, that's like a repentant sinner that came back, or a repentant. The prodigal son is like anyone who goes off, deviates from the Lord, and they return. No, it's not anyone. It's not a man as an individual or a woman as an individual that's going off and getting lost out in the world and coming back to God. It sounds good in the Christian world. You know what I'm saying? Christianity, that sounds good. But if you want to be specifically direct, the prodigal son, once again, is dealing with the northern and southern nations of Israel. But you wouldn't know that if you don't seek out of the book of the Lord and read. You won't know that. If you seek out the book of the Lord and read, none one of these shall fail. You will be able to enter and understand Luke 15:11, going all the way down, dealing with the prodigal son. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. So now, when we go back to Ezekiel 37, those what the two sticks is about. Then we go around here, ultimately, to go to another book, chapter and verse. Let me just bring it on home with 37, chapter of Ezekiel. If you go right here, Ezekiel 37:22, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. So the Most High is telling Ezekiel to put these two sticks together, to join these two sticks together, and he was going to make those two sticks one nation. Those two sticks are talking about northern and southern Israel after they became a divided nation. He said he would make them back in the days of old, like when they was 12 tribes, like when King Saul, Solomon, and King Saul, David and Solomon was ruling, Israel was intact as 12 tribes. He said, this is what's going to happen ultimately concerning this prophecy. We're not no longer going to be divided. We're going to come back as one nation under Christ. We're going to be united. So I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them. That's the Messiah. And they shall be no more two nations. See that? But neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms. See, because that's what happened after 1 Kings, the 11th chapter. So neither shall we be divided into two kingdoms. There would be no two kingdoms. There would be no two nations. There would be no a certain man that had two sons. We already know, because this is what all this going to. One of the sons just went off. I'm just brushing on it right now. Let me give you Amos. Let me give you that Amos 9:11. Here's another prophecy. Amos 9:11. And that day I will rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. The tabernacle of David is the 12 tribes of Israel. It says the tabernacle of David has fallen. When did that happen? The peak of it is 1 Kings, the 11th chapter. When King Solomon decided to intermingle with strange woman, that's when the countdown started as of Israel getting severed as a nation. You see, so after King Solomon did what he did, when his son Rehoboam got kingship, Israel became divided. And this is why the headline right here, as you can see right here, is dealing with the restoration of Israel. Taking northern and southern kingdom and putting them back together. That's all it is right here concerning these two men. Concerning this certain man that had two sons. That certain man, the Most High, the two sons, northern and southern kingdom. Back to Amos 9:11, I will rise up the tabernacles of David, the 12 tribes that is fallen, the 12 tribes that became severed and divided, and I will close up the breaches thereof. See that? That's just getting northern and southern kingdom back as a whole, back as of a whole again. So I will close up the breaches. I will bring northern Israel, southern Israel, northern Israel, which is the house of Israel, aka Ephraim, or you may say northern kingdom, and then southern kingdom is dealing with Judah. Sometimes they even may call the northern kingdom Samaria, Samaria and Judah. Those are the breaches that will be closed up. I will raise up his ruins. You see what I'm saying? And I will build it as in the days of old. All these prophecies, stuff like that, that ain't doing nothing but pointing you all these Old Testament prophecies about Ezekiel taking a stick, joining two sticks together, Amos 9:11, Tabernacle David that is falling, closing up the breaches, all kind of stuff like this. This is dealing with this is what Luke 15 is dealing with. Literally. Even dealing with Ephesians 2:14, for he is our peace, who have made both one. See that? Who have made both one. You get what I'm saying? This whole entire thing, this whole entire Bible is about Israel being united under Yahushua, under the Messiah. For he is our peace, who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall or the middle wall or partition between us. See what I'm saying? Because that's when you had northern and southern Israel that was divided. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about, him making both one. For he's our peace, who made both one. All this stuff right here, that's just reflecting off Luke 15. Let's go to Isaiah 7 and 17. Isaiah 7 and 17. These are just prophecies of Isaiah 7 and 17. The Lord shall bring upon you and upon your people and upon your father's house days that have not come, from the day that Ephraim, that's the northern kingdom, that's northern Israel, from the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, even the king of Assyria. See? So this is all dealing with that split. All right? Those two sons. When I tell you that certain man right there is the Most High, most of you will say, I don't know about that, but the Most High always called Israel his son. Let me get you that. Let me get you Exodus 4 and 22. Watch this. Just for a brief second. Watch this. Exodus 4 and 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus said the Lord, Elohim, the Most High, he said, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So Israel is the Lord's son. So when we go back here, it says he said there was a certain man that had two sons. That certain man right there is the Most High, because the Most High tells you in Exodus 4 and 22, it says, the Lord said this, thus said the Lord, Israel is my son. So when it says, when Christ went into this parable, there was a certain man that had two sons, that is Samaria and Judah, northern and southern kingdom. Luke 15:12. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided into them his living. The younger here is dealing with the northern kingdom. That's the northern kingdom. The older son is the southern kingdom. So the younger said to his father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. He divided into them his living. All right. Now, I'm going into that portion. Let me break down the portion, because he said, Father, give me the portion of goods. What was the portion of goods that was given to Israel? What is the portion of goods that was given to Israel? This is the portion of goods. Psalms 147 verses 19 and 20. He showed his word unto Jacob. He showed his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. That's the portions. That's them good portions. He showed his word to Jacob. His laws, statutes, and commandments to Israel. That's the portions of goods right there. That the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods. That's the portions of goods. You know what I'm saying? The portion of goods is the law, statutes, and commandments and judgments to Israel. You see, Let me give you some more precepts on the portion of goods. This is Baruch 4:1, dealing with the portions of good as well. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endures forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. And Baruch chapter 4 verse 2, turn you, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that you may be illuminated. You see? And so, this the commandments of the Most High. That's the portions of goods, dealing with Luke 15:12. Give me the portion of goods. This is Sirach in the Apocrypha Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge in the law of life for inheritance. This is talking about the nation of Israel. The Most High gave them knowledge in the law of life for inheritance. And that is going back to the portion of goods. He made everlasting covenant with them. This is Sirach 17 verse 12. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. You see, so this is all about the Most High giving Jacob, Israel, the knowledge and the law of life for heritage. And he made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. That is the portions of goods right there, pursuant to Luke 5:12. All right. Now this one here is Baruch. Baruch chapter 3 verse 35. Still dealing with the portions of goods. This is our God. That's from the Israelite perspective. This is our God, the God of Israel, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of him. Baruch 3:36, he have found out all the way of knowledge and have given it unto Jacob his servant and to Israel his beloved. So that is the portion of goods right there in Luke 15:12. He found all the way of knowledge and he gave it to Jacob his servant and to Israel his beloved. You see, and so that's the portion of goods in Luke 15:12. Continuing on, Luke 15:13, and not many days after, the younger son, northern kingdom, gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there he wasted his substance with riotous living. You see, this is talking about northern Israel. This is talking about how northern Israel showed themselves to be more treacherous than the southern kingdom. I'm gonna get into it. So the younger son, northern Israel, that's the northern kingdom, gathered all together, took his journey into a far country. So when you see that far, you know that's talking about northern Israel. Because let me give you some key words in Luke 15:13. First and foremost, let's look at substance. Now watch this precept. Be not wise in thy own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be help to your neighbor and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance. What it says in Luke 15:13, he wasted his substance, right? Proverbs 3:9 says you're supposed to honor the Most High with your substance and with the first fruits of all thy increase. So basically, right here, honor the Lord with thy substance. As you can see right here in Luke 15:13, the younger son, the prodigal son, he wasted his substance. That means he treated the laws, statutes, and commandments with contempt. The northern kingdom, because to be exact, that's what it's talking about. Really, just to be exact, it's talking about Jeroboam, because what he did, he built 2 golden calves to prevent the Israelites from basically from forming up with the southern kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? Jeroboam, however you say it, which was given the 10 tribes of Israel, because remember, Jeroboam was given 10 tribes, and Solomon's son Rehoboam was given 2 tribes. With Jeroboam, what he did was, he kind of did his own thing, man. He did his own thing, and that was right in his own eyes. So that was kind of like, this is what they're talking about right there, because Jeroboam was the king of Samaria, or what you call northern Israel. And he wasted his substance, causing all the other northern kingdom Israelites to do the same thing. But righteous living, because he did what he wanted to do. 1 Kings 12 and 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence, and built Peniel. 1 Kings 12 and 26. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. 1 Kings 12:27. So if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again into their Lord, even into Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. 1 Kings 12 and 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. See, this Jeroboam, man, this how wicked Jeroboam was, man. And you know, basically to prevent northern Israel from going down into Judah, you know what I'm saying? He made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, is it too much for you to go up to Jerusalem? Behold, thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So he built 2 calves of gold and told the northern kingdom of Israel that those calves were their gods, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, man. You know what I'm saying? Jeroboam, man, that was him. So Jeroboam, he did what was right in his own eyes, man. You get what I'm saying? Is that not linked to wasting his substance? You see what I'm saying? 1 Kings 12 and 29, and he set the one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. 1 Kings 12 and 30, and this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even into Dan. You see? 1 Kings 12 and 31, and he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people. See, you ain't supposed to do that. Jeroboam did something you ain't supposed to do. He made priests of the lowest of the people, which was not of the sons of Levi. We already know, according to the Torah, that you had to be a descendant of Aaron to be counted as high priest. You see what I'm saying? What Jeroboam did? Jeroboam made priests of the lowest of the people, which was not of the sons of Levi. So Jeroboam, he did what was right in his own eyes. He wasted his substance. Was not Jeroboam appointed over northern kingdom? Absolutely. So that's what it's talking about. When it says that younger son wasted his substance, you know what I'm saying? That's northern kingdom. Because Jeroboam was a big influence on the house of Israel. Jeroboam did what was right in his own damn eyes. Made priests of the lowest people, which was not of the sons of Levi. And also got the northern house of Israel. He compelled them into idol worship. See that? Is that not doing what right in your own eyes? This is Proverbs 14:12. There is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Here's another precept. Proverbs 16:2. Because all this stuff Jeroboam was doing. Proverbs 16:2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weighed the spirits. You see? So all the ways of Jeroboam was clean in his own eyes. That's why he did what he did. Made priests of lords of the people, which was not of the sons of Levi. Also, 1 Kings 12 and 32, and Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. See that? And he offered upon the altar. So he doing his own thing, man. He offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. These wasn't no legitimate priests of the house of Levi. He made that. You see, 1 Kings 12 and 33. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised in his own heart. He did it. See, he devised in his own heart and ordained the feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. This is wicked as hell, man. So now you see why this is talking. The prodigal son is related to the northern kingdom. Now why you see, because it really started with Jeroboam being wicked influence on the northern house of Israel. He wasted his substance with riotous living. Luke 15 and 14. Not to stay on that too long. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. So when it's talking about he is just a personification of the northern kingdom of Israel. It's not a specific direct man when it says he. That he is in reference to the whole northern house of Israel. This is what they was doing. So, like I said, according to Luke 15 and 14, there arose a mighty famine in the land. Famine of what? Famine in the land. Famine of the word. You understand? Let me get you that. This is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, said the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So it was a spiritual famine going on. It was, the law, statutes, and commandments, man. So ultimately, Amos 8 and 11 says the famine, not famine dealing with delicacy foods, but famine of the word. So right here, there arose a mighty famine in the land of the northern kingdom, man. They wasn't keeping no laws, statutes, and commandments. They was without the laws, statutes, and commandments. They was just wicked as hell. They was off the charts. And it was famine in that land because the shortness of the word being taught. It was a shortage of spiritual education, as far as the law, statutes, and commandments. Because you got to think about it, man. We talking about the northern kingdom here. How many righteous kings were there dealing with the northern kingdom? It wasn't one damn righteous king dealing with the house of Israel, aka northern kingdom. Let me show you. Look here. Israel, evil kings. The northern kingdom was plagued with evil kings, beginning with Jeroboam. What we were just reading about, how he did all this stuff in his own eyes. You see what I'm saying? 931 to 910 BC. The northern kingdom was plagued with evil kings, beginning with Jeroboam, who intentionally caused Israel. He caused Israel to sin by erecting golden calves in Bethel and Dan, and telling the Israelites, "Here are your gods, O Israel, which brought you up from the land of Egypt." Then in 1 Kings 12 and 28, here's a rundown of the reigns of the 7 kings who followed him. And then you got right here, Nabdab and Bashar and Allah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the list goes on and on, man. What I'm trying to tell you, there was not one northern kingdom Israelite that was righteous in the eyes of God. So I hope you guys can see this. Kings of northern Israel on the left-hand side and kings of Judah on the right-hand side. You can see right there, Judah the southern kingdom, Israel northern kingdom. Jeroboam the first. All these right here, all these kings dealing with the northern kingdom on the left-hand side, every last one of them, these northern kingdom kings. I'm talking about kings, not prophets. Northern kingdom kings was wicked, man. Not prophets. The northern kingdom kings was wicked. I could be wrong when I stated that all the northern kingdom kings was wicked, but the majority of those of northern kingdom kings were wicked. We know it was more wicked as northern kingdom kings than it was southern kingdom. See, the southern kingdom of Judah, beginning with Rehoboam, there were 20 kings, some evil and some good. And Judah was invaded and taken captive by the Babylonians 586 BC. And then dealing with the northern kingdom of Israel, beginning with Jeroboam, there were 19 kings, and they all did evil in God's sight. And the northern kingdom of Israel was invaded and taken captive by the Assyrians in 722 BC, as you can see right there. So out of the southern and northern kingdom of Israel, there was 19 kings and they all did evil in God's sight. That was dealing with northern Israel. So you can see, man, northern Israel had more wickedness in it than southern Israel. Luke 15:14. That mighty famine in the land was shortness of the commandments being taught. That mighty famine in the land was shortness of, spiritual guidance and instruction going out, because the northern kingdom was too wicked as hell, caught up in doing everything but keeping the commandments. You know what I'm saying? Verse 15. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of their country. Now, joining himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. So this is because when it says join himself, I want to say that's in terms of like servitude or slavery, but I really want to pick out what Jeroboam did, because was it Jeroboam? Who was that? When in terms of joining himself, let's see what we got here. 2 Kings 15:17. In the 9th and 3rd year of Azariah, king of Judah, began Menahem, son of Gadai, to reign over Israel, and he reigned 10 years in Samaria. See that? So we talking about Menahem, the son of Gadai, that ruled over Israel right there and reigned 10 years in Samaria. That's talking about the northern house. 2 Kings 15:18. He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They go to prodigal son again, being wasteful with the commandments. You see what I'm saying? Northern kingdom. He departed not all his ways from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. See that? That's why I told you that prodigal son. That's northern kingdom. They always wasted over the commandments. 2 Kings 15:19. And Pul, the king of Assyria, came against the land. Now let's see what Menahem did. And Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand. You see that? So this is Menahem making a deal here with Pul, the king of Assyria. That's why I told you it said he joined himself to a citizen of that country. Because northern Israel, they formed an alliance with the Assyrians, man. You see what I'm saying? I'm just showing you this. 2 Kings 15:20. And Menahem exacted the money of Israel, even of all the mighty men of wealth, of each man 50 shekels of silver, to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and stayed not there in the land. 2 Kings 15:21. And the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel? You see? And then they tell you Menahem slept with his father. You know what I'm saying? So you can see right there, Menahem, he made a deal with the king of Assyria. I'm going to show you again. And see that? The king of Assyria was Pul, and Menahem, gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver. He formed an alliance with him. So that's why I say he joined himself. That's talking about northern kingdom, because Menahem was a northern kingdom king. You see? Menahem the son of Gadai, to reign over Israel. He reigned 10 years in Samaria. That's northern kingdom. Is that not in terms of that younger son, which is northern kingdom, joining himself to a citizen of that country? And then ultimately, we know, even though Menahem made a deal with Pul, the king of Assyria, the Assyrians took him into captivity. Because we already showed you that. See right there? The northern kingdom of Israel, they was invaded and taken captives by the Assyrians in 722 BC. And you can read about that in 2 Kings 17. So even though that northern Israel, he joined himself, they joined themselves to the Assyrians. The Assyrians ultimately, they captured them. You see? So that's in terms of him joining himself in slavery to a citizen of that country. He sent him into the fields to feed swine. He sent him into the field to feed swine. Y'all give me a second. I believe when he sent him into the field to feed swine, this is basically the northern house of Israel doing all the works of the Gentiles. They was doing all these wicked acts, manners, customs, and traditions of the Gentiles. Let me give you a precept on that younger son that was in the field to feed swine. Let me give you a precept on that. And right here, you got to understand that Hosea was a northern kingdom king. And what he said, my people are destroyed. It's Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's why this is the prodigal son. It's that younger son, northern kingdom, because he wasted his substance. You see what I'm saying? Northern house of Israel, they wasted the substance. I mean, Judah did it too, but northern house of Israel was more showing himself to be more wicked than Judah. You get what I'm saying? So he said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me, seeing you has forgotten the law of your God. That's wasting the substance. And I will also forget thy children, And then it said Hosea 4:6, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore I will change their glory into shame. You know what I'm saying? Hosea 4:8, they eat up the sin of my people. You get what I'm saying? They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their hearts on their iniquity. Hosea 4:17. Let's skip down to here. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. So that kind of like go hand in hand with he sent him in the field to feed swine. These swine represents heathen nations. So that younger son, which was the northern house of Israel, they was in the field. He sent him in the field to feed swine. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like a deep, dark allegory for, Ephraim, aka house of Israel, being joined to idols. That's what I'm getting from it. Guys, if you got a better breakdown, you can share your breakdown too, and we can learn, swap our information and learn together. So, yeah, let's continue to go on. If there's anything for that left, feed swine. He sent him to feed swine. Let's see. Let's look at Matthew 7:6 on this feeding swine. Let's look at that. Okay, Matthew 7:6. Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn against you and tear you. Yeah, so the other nations have always been referred to as dogs and swine. Nations outside of Israel. So that's what I'm getting. That was on the northern kingdom, the northern house of Israel. Sent them in the field to feed swine. They was following the customs, traditions, and manners of the heathen nations, and they joined themselves to their idols as well. Luke 15:16. He would not, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. That's Luke 16. Right there. So that's the other nations. As we showed you in Matthew 7:6, the Messiah tells the Jews, the apostles, not to cast your pearls. That's the truth. Don't teach the law, statutes, and commandments to heathen nations and Gentile nations. That's a parable for casting your pearls. Your pearls is the law, statutes, and commandments that he showed to Jacob. He said, don't teach these other nations that, because the Most High didn't get him that. So cast your pearls. Don't cast your pearl before swine. Right here, the Messiah is referring to swine as other nations. So you can see right here in Luke 15:16, the youngest son, Northern Kingdom, he was out in the fields, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine of the nations did eat, and no man gave unto him. You see what I'm saying? Luke 15:17, when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? So he came to himself. I'm going to give you some precepts on that. So the Northern Kingdom, that younger son, he came to himself. All right? Hosea 3:5. Because afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter day. So in the latter days, it was already prophesied that, because Hosea was a Northern Kingdom king, man. And he was telling this is talking about Ephraim, man. The house of Israel, Northern Kingdom. Shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God? They shall return. They shall return. And that's in reference to Luke 15 when he said, I will rise and go to my father. That's Luke 15:17. And he came to himself, coming to himself. Let me show you something else. 1 Corinthians 12:2. It says, ye know that you were Gentiles. You see what I'm saying? This is talking to the Israelites. You know that you were Gentiles that was carried away into these dumb idols, even as ye were led. So you know that you were Gentiles. The Israelites, they was acting they was following the customs, traditions, and manners of the biological Gentiles. So know that you were Gentiles carried away into these dumb idols, even as you was led. You see? So this is talking about in reference to Luke 15:17 when he came to himself. 1 Kings 8:47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land, whether they were carried captives, and repent and make supplication unto you in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. 1 Kings 8:48. And so return unto thee with all thy heart and with all thy soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captives, and pray unto you toward their land, which you gave into their fathers, the city which you have chosen, that's Jerusalem, and the house which I have built for thy name. 1 Kings 8:49. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause. You see that? So all this in 1 Kings, man, 8 chapter. Just look at that. That's in terms of 1 Kings 8 chapter. That's in terms of him coming to his senses. In Luke 15:17, when the prodigal son, the Northern Kingdom, when he came to himself, he came to himself. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said that. That's why I started right there in 1 Kings 8:47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves, come to your senses in the land, whether they was carried captives. You see? So that's in reference of the prodigal son coming to himself. That'll be 1 Kings 8:47 as a precept. You get what I'm saying? Another one, this is 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. He said, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves. Humbling yourself is like, bethinking yourself. You see what I'm saying? 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people shall humble themselves. 1 Kings 8:47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves, in the land and repent. That's all in reference to that younger son, which is the Northern Kingdom. That's all in reference to in Luke 15:17 when he came to himself. He said, how many hired servants are my father's How many hired servants of my fathers have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? So that was the northern kingdom of Israel, man. Ephesians, it's a lot of more precepts like Ephesians 2 and 11. Like, let's see what that says. Salakia. Ephesians 2 and 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision, by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands. Ephesians 2 and 12. That at the time you was without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. That's the prodigal son. That's that younger son. That's the northern house of Israel. See that? And also Hellenized Jews here. But yeah. From the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of the promise, having no hope and without God in the world. See what I'm saying? Ephesians 2 and 13. But now in Christ, the Messiah, Yahushua, ye who sometime was far off, what did the prodigal son do? He took his substance and watch this. Let's go back. Watch this. Watch what the prodigal son did. Watch this. You can see right there in Luke 15:13, it said, basically, he took he said, give him my portion of goods that falleth to me. He divided them to them his living. Not many days after, the younger son had gathered all together, and he took his journey into a far country. You see, that's Ephesians 2 and 13. You see what I'm saying? That's the northern kingdom that went off, man, and started worshiping idols and doing all kind of stuff. But they wasn't keeping the commandments. But then, they woke up, because that's what you see. This prophecy here, the prodigal son, is being fulfilled now in the last days and time. That prophecy being fulfilled. But now in Christ, you who was sometime far off are made near by the blood of Christ. That's why in this prodigal thing, you know what I'm saying, he say, my son was lost and now he's found. You get what I'm saying? But I'm jumping beside myself. I'm going too fast right now. Let me slow down. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I'm just kind of like elaborating on it and analyzing it and breaking it down so you guys can understand spiritually. See that? Luke 15:17, Luke 15:18, he said, and I will arise and go to my father, and I will sing unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. Now what is sin? 1 John 3 and 4, ain't it? Transgression of the law. Okay, I have sinned. Let's see. Let's go to Hosea 2 and 7. Watch this. Hosea 2 and 7. She shall follow after her lovers. It's talking about northern kingdom of Israel. She shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them, and she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I would go and return to my first husband. See what I'm saying? That's all in reference to the northern house of Israel, a.k.a. the kingdom of Ephraim, a.k.a. the northern kingdom of Israel, a.k.a. Samaria. That's talking about northern kingdom. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. And that's all dealing with, Luke 15:18, I will arise and go to my father. You know what I'm saying? That's that younger son in the northern kingdom. It's not talking about a specific individual as of a guide. It's not talking about that. It's talking about the northern kingdom of Israel that many of you Christian ministers, you pastors, evangelists fail to comprehend. Okay, I will arise and go to my father. I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned, against heaven and before thee. So that Luke 15:18, you can put Hosea 2 and 7 there as a precept, if you would like. It's many ones. Hosea 6 and 1. You got Hosea 6 and 1. Let me show you this one. Hosea 6 and 1. It says, Hosea 6 and 1. See? Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. And he that hath smitten, and he will bind us up. So come and let us return. It's talking about the northern house of Israel. See what I'm saying? It's all dealing with that Luke 15:18. I will arise, go to my father. Um, more, more is than Hosea 3:5. Hosea 3:5. Because a lot of stuff in Luke 15 is pulling from Hosea. It's just the history of Hosea about northern house of Israel going off. So let's go to Hosea 3:5. Hosea 3:5. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God, and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. So in the latter days, it said the children of Israel will return. What did the prodigal son say? What did he say? He said that I will arise and go to my father. Luke 15:19. And I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. So Luke 15:19. I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. What did the Most High say in Hosea 1:9 about northern house of Israel? This is Hosea 1:9. Then said God, call his name, because this was the prostitute that he commanded Hosea to marry. And then the prostitute had some children. And one of the children was Leomi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Then the Most High said, call his name Leomi. For what does that mean? For you are not my people, and I will not be your God. Because you got to understand that the Most High gave the northern kingdom a bill of divorce. Where is that at? I believe that's in Jeremiah 3:8. Let me search that out. In Jeremiah 3:8, he wrote the bill of divorce off to the northern kingdom. You see, Jeremiah 3:8. And I saw when for all the causes where backsliding Israel, that's the northern kingdom, committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. But Judah wasn't off the chain like the northern kingdom was. So if anybody was given a bill of divorce, it was the northern house of Israel. It was Ephraim, aka Samaria, the northern kingdom. He said, I put her away and gave her a bill of divorce. So when you look at this right here, Hosea 1:9, that's why he told Hosea to call one of those sons he had from the prostitute, call his name Leomi, for you are not my people, and I will not be your God. So when you go back to Luke 15:19, this is why the prodigal son, that younger son, this is why he said, I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me one of thy hired servants. Because the history is dealing with this stuff. Man, you got to deal with history in Luke the 15th chapter, man. Luke 15th chapter dealing with the prodigal son. That's dealing with history on Hosea. That's dealing with history on the split of Israel. That's dealing with Ezekiel 37. That's dealing with 1 Kings chapter 11. Like, that's dealing with, like, all this aforetime records that the prodigal son is dealing with, man. You got to know this stuff. That's why he said, I'm not worthy to be called thy son. You see? Hosea 1:9. The Most High didn't divorce the house of Israel. The northern kingdom, to be exact. When you go to Hosea 1:6, even right here, she conceived again and bare a daughter. So this is the daughter that the prostitute conceived and bare from Hosea. And God said unto him, call her Laruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. And then we get down here to 9, he said, you're not my people, because he gave him a bill of divorce. So that's why the prodigal son, the younger son, northern kingdom of Israel said, I'm no more worthy to be called your son. Make me one as your hired servants. Okay, Luke 1:20, and he arose and came to his father, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran, fell on his neck and kissed him. Okay, this is Luke 15:20. I'm trying to work my way through this thing. He had compassion on him. So right here, the father had compassion on the prodigal son, the wasteful son, the younger son, northern kingdom. Let me give you some precepts on that, having compassion. Hosea 2:23. I'm telling you, man, this thing gonna take you right back to Hosea, man. There's a lot of stuff in Hosea dealing with the prodigal son. That's the history of it. Hosea 2:23. Let's see what he said there. He said, and I will sow into her so unto her and to me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her. I will have mercy upon her. That's the northern kingdom that had not obtained mercy. Yeah, because he gave them the bill of divorce. And I would say to them which were not my people, yeah, because he wrote them off. That were not my people, thou art my people. And they shall say, thou art my God. So he said, Hosea 2 and 23, that he was going to do what? That I will have mercy upon her. That's right. That's going right back to that compassion in Luke 15:20. Say when the father saw his younger son, the prodigal son, it say he had compassion on him, man. He had compassion and ran. He fell on his neck and he kissed him. See what I'm saying? That's the most I have a compassion on the northern kingdom, man. You know, it's just so much dealing with this breakdown, man. I think I'm not gonna be able to get through the whole entire thing, you know. But I would try. Hosea 1 and 10. I would try. I would try to get through it. Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. And that's compassion. That's the most I have a compassion. Yeah, Hosea 1 and 7, but I will have mercy upon the house. That's the house of Judah. So that's not dealing with northern kingdom there. But I've showed you enough of precepts on the most I have a compassion on northern kingdom. Luke 15:21. And the son said unto him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and in your sight, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. That's the 21st verse of Luke 16. We know why he said he was not worthy to be called his son, because the Most High wrote Northern Kingdom a bill of divorce. Because Israel, the two kingdoms of Israel is likened to sisters too. But here it's talking about there was a certain man that had two sons. All right, Luke 15:22. But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Now, what is this robe? He said, bring the best robe. Let's go to Revelation. Let's grab Revelation. This is Revelation 3, verse 5. He that overcomes, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. So right there, that robe that he put on him, that's that white raiment. He that overcome, the same shall be clothed in white raiment. And that's going back to the robe, Luke 15:22, that the father put on his son. He said, bring forth the best robe. That's that white raiment. Yeah. And put it on him, and put a ring on his hand. Because remember, the Most High gave Northern Kingdom a bill of divorce. Put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. You know, trying to get through this thing. Verse Luke 15:23, and bring here the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be happy. All right. Bring the fatted calf, let us kill and eat and be merry, happy. For this my son was dead, because we already know what happened in Northern Kingdom. And I can give you a precept on that too. Proverbs 21:16. He said my son was dead. Watch this. Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Read that again. Proverbs 21:16. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. You know, the northern house of Israel, man. When they left the commandments, you know, they had wicked ass kings that influenced them to do wrong. You know, and that's how they really wandered out the way of understanding too, because, you know, them kings supposed to lead the way. They supposed to show you what's necessary in terms of keeping the Most High statutes and judgments. But northern house of Israel had wicked ass kings that led them, that wandered them out of the way of understanding. And so Whoever do that shall remain in the congregation of the dead. That's why he said that. For this my son was dead. You know, Ephesians 2:1 is that. Let's see. For my son was dead. My son was dead. Let's look at Ephesians 2:1. Let's look at that. See what we got there. And you have he quickened who was dead in trespass and sins. See that? Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when you lead the law, statutes, and commandments, like, you liken to be dead. Because there's no life. Because life in the commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Messiah said he came to get life and life more abundantly. He came to teach, you know, his people the commandments. You see what I'm saying? Because life in the commandments. When you ain't, without the commandments, you don't have life. And so, yeah, the Northern Kingdom, they was out there, man, doing A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, and everything else you could think of. But you know, we seeing this prophecy concerning Luke 15 chapter. We seeing this thing unravel right before our eyes in the last days and times. You know, this prophecy, Luke 15, you know, about that prodigal son, the younger son, the northern house of Israel, which is Hispanics, natives, indigenous, Hispanics, Latin tribes. We seeing this thing now, man. You seeing the prodigal son returning, you see. So yeah, Luke 15:24, I was dead and I'm alive again. He said he was lost and now he's found, and they began to be happy. So he was lost. These keywords like this stuff, you need to know this. He was lost. I'm going to give you some keywords on that when they say he was lost. Now, we can go to Matthew 18:11. Go to that. Remember, prodigal son say he was lost and now he's found. Matthew 18:11. For the Son of Man has come to save which was lost. And then you can go to Matthew 15:24 to find out who the lost is. You can go there, Matthew 15:24 to find out who the lost. But he answered and said, I'm not sent but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's the lost pursuant to Matthew 18:11. Matthew 18:11, the Son of Man has come to save the lost. Matthew 18:11, who is the lost? Matthew 15:24, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right there. And remember, he said in Luke 15:24, he was lost, and now he's found. What else? Yeah. So we're gonna move on for the sake of time. Luke 15:25. Now his elder son, that's the southern kingdom, Judah. His elder son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. Luke 15:26. He called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. Okay, Luke 15:27. Trying to get through it. And he said unto him, your brother is come, and your father hath killed the fatted calf. When he said your brother, that's northern house of Israel, that's northern kingdom, because he had received him safe and sound. Luke 15:28, and he was angry. So the older son, which is the southern kingdom, which is Judah, the Jews, he was angry at the northern kingdom because we know that there was a disclaimer given in Hosea. This was told to the Jews back then. Ephraim, that's the northern house of Israel. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. This was told to the Jews. The Jews was not supposed to have any dealings with the northern house of Israel after that split, because the northern house of Israel was more treacherous and wickedness. So the Jews was given a warning to leave the northern house of Israel alone. You see what I'm saying? You can see it right there, Hosea 4:16. For Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in the Lord's place. You know, and he said, I'm telling you, Jews, do not deal with Ephraim. Do not deal with the northern house of Israel. They are joined to idols, and southern kingdom, let him alone. And so that's why, you know, the oldest son, which is talking about Judah in terms of the prodigal son, in terms of the man that had two sons, his oldest son is Judah. Judah was very angry at the northern kingdom because the salvation kind of rested upon Judah for a long time, you know, as far as, you know, salvation and teaching the law, statutes, and commandments, and rehearsing the righteous acts. Judah had that on lock for a long time. and ever since the split of Israel. So after Judah was told not to have no dealings with Samaria, you know, it's the northern kingdom of Israel kind of became neglected to Judah. And so when Judah find out now that the Most High is restoring salvation to the northern kingdom, that made the Jews upset. I'm gonna show you a precept of that too. Let me grab you that precept why the oldest son was angry. This is Romans 11:11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Right? This talking about the Jews. God forbid, but rather through their fall, rather through the fall of the southern kingdom, rather through the fall of the Jews, rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles. Now these Gentiles here is what you call the northern house of Israel. Salvation is coming to the Gentiles to provoke the Jews to jealousy. That's why you see that Romans 11:11. So salvation, the Most High restored salvation back to the northern kingdom after they was without it for so long, and the Jews didn't like it. And he did that to provoke them to jealousy because the Jews, they trifled with the salvation, especially the Pharisees, the Sadducees, chief priests, the elders and stuff like that. That's what it's really talking about. The chief priests, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the elders, the scribes, how they stumbled and they should fall. These are Jews. It says, rather through the Jews' fall, salvation came to the northern kingdom of Israel. But it says Gentiles here to provoke the southern kingdom to jealousy. And that's what you see pursuing the Romans 11:11. You go back. That's why it was so salty. That's why in Luke 15, the oldest son was angry. And he would not go in. Pursuing Luke 15:28. Another one is this. Acts 13:46. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you. That's talking about the Jews. But seeing you put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. That's the northern kingdom. See that? That's why I told you, man. That's why he was angry. That's why that oldest son was angry at his younger son. He was kind of jealous because, man, we ain't never went astray. The southern kingdom, the Jews, he like, we ain't never deviated, man. The oldest son, like, man, my brother went off. He was doing anything out there, man. And now you're gonna accept him back. That's why he was angry. Because salvation, also in Acts, I believe it's in Acts, from Acts 10th chapter to the 11th chapter, you can see with salvation being restored to the northern kingdom, man. And so Jews didn't like that. That's why he was angry. That's why the oldest son was angry. Oldest son in the southern kingdom. He would not go in, therefore came his father out and entreated him. Luke 15:29. And he answered and said to his father, lo, these many years do I serve you, neither transgress at any time your commandments. And yet thou never gave me a kid that I might make happiness with my friends. You see, so the oldest son is upset. These are the Jews because he said, man, at any time, he was basically like, I served thee. I never transgressed at any time. Now, why did he say that? Because I never transgressed at any time. Because, let me give you the precept. Genesis 49:10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So basically, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet. And so that's why he said, man, because Judah, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, man. That's why he said, I neither transgress at any time thy commandment. That's why if anybody, the Most High wrote the bill of divorce and sent them off, that was the northern house of Israel. Because the northern house of Israel, Judah, the southern kingdom of Israel, was a lot better than the northern kingdom of Israel. You see what I'm saying? But it's just by the grace of the Most High, by redeeming the northern kingdom through his son, to come back into the fold. You know what I'm saying? That's also why Christ said, it's other sheep I have out there that's not of the fold, other sheep I must go and get. It's still talking about the house of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the whole entire Bible is about Israel being united under the Messiah and ruler, ultimately. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he said, I serve thee, neither transgress at any time. Another one when he said, I neither transgress at any time would be, we can get Hosea 11 and 12. Hosea 11 and 12, it says, Judah ruled with God. Hosea 11 and 12. Ephraim compasseth me about with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the saints. Judah ruleth with God. Judah, the southern kingdom, Judah ruleth with God. That's why he said, neither transgress at any time thy commandments. That's why the northern kingdom was known as the wild olive branch. You see what I'm saying? Judah wasn't known as a wild olive branch because Judah was like the natural branches. You feel me? So yeah. Judah ruled with God. Let's go to verse 30. But as soon as this your son was come, which shall devour thy living with harlots. You see what I'm saying? It's talking about basically different philosophies and shit the northern kingdom was in, and different customs, traditions, and manners. Biological Gentiles they was following, they devoured their living with harlots. You know what I'm saying? Following the customs, traditions, and manners of the Gentiles. But as soon he said, as this your son was come, which shall devour your living, basically your substance, like you didn't give a damn about your statutes and commandments with other nations, harlots, false idols and stuff like that. Thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. Luke 15:31. That's why he said that. He said, thou devour thy living with harlots. Because the house of Israel has always been into harlotry, idolatry, you know what I'm saying, worshiping idols and shit. But Luke 15:31, and he said it to them, he said it to him. So the father said to the oldest son, he said, son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Luke 15:32, it was meet that we should make merry and be glad, for this your brother was dead. We already went over that. What dead means. We went over that. Dealing with remaining in the congregation of the dead. He said your brother is dead. There could be, I can take you back to it. Your brother was dead. I can take you back to it. Proverbs 21:16. Thy brother was dead. Take it back to it. The man that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. The northern kingdom was without the commandments, without understanding. You understand? Thy brother was dead. 1 Peter 4:6. Thy brother was dead. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but living according to God in the spirit. Thy brother was dead. Isaiah 65. Thy brother was dead. Isaiah 65:1. I'm sought of them that ask not for me. I'm found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, a nation that was not called by my name. Isaiah 65:2. I have spread out my hands all day into a rebellious people which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. Isaiah 65:3. A people that provoked me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burn incense upon altars of brick. Isaiah 65:4, which remain among the graves, lodged in the monuments, which eateth swine flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels. That's why I said that, man. Our brother was dead. The northern house of Israel was doing all that shit, man. Don't get me wrong, southern kingdom was off the chain too, but not like the northern kingdom was. And I'm not saying the southern kingdom is better off. I'm just saying the northern kingdom was heavy in idolatry and heathen worship. and deviating from the commandments. Like I said, I want to say all Northern Kingdom kings were wicked as hell. Thy brother was dead and alive again, and he was lost and now is found. You see, so that's all I had to say for that, man. Guys, there's a lot more precepts that I left out for the sake of time, but that's pretty much what's going on with the parable of the prodigal son. You know, it's just in order to understand this parable of the prodigal son, you have to be well knowledgeable historically in the Old Testament, because Salakia, prodigal son is pulling from 1 Kings 11 chapter, it's pulling from Ezekiel 37 chapter, it's pulling from Amos the 9th chapter, it's pulling from did I say 1 Kings 11 chapter? Did I say that? It's pulling from the book of Hosea, you know. It's just pulling from different books that was written aforetime in the Old Testament. So by the time you get in the New Testament, you'll understand the prodigal son. Everybody can't over and understand this. So for those of you that have stayed thus far, I appreciate you guys. Brothers and sisters, please share this video with family and friends. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And all praises be to the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders, salutations to the brothers. And I'll see you in the next edition. And with this, Shalom.